I was today years old when I found out you were Canadian.
Is that right?
That's so right. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, that's why he's so insightful and
Oh.
like. Hello, lookers, and welcome to our highly awaited interview with Mr. Damphousse himself. In the spirit of Halloween, today we have on our costumes our beautiful mustaches.
And No Shave November coming up.
No Shave November is coming up as well. He mentioned that, yes, in his beautiful handlebar, looking very dapper today. All right, so just to get us started off, we are going to let you know like who we are as Lewk members because this is your first time meeting us. So us as Lewk Magazine, we are a diverse publication here on campus. We are the first magazine organization on campus, fashion magazine organization, and we are honestly honored to meet you because you seem like such a chill president. And our vibe or like our brand is pretty much chill. So yeah.
Well, I enjoy meeting you guys. I love the fashion sense of all your shoes. We're talking about the diversity of your shoes. You got cowboy boots, you got Doc Martens, you got the fancy shoes, you got the tennis shoes. All right, so, and I've got my gold and maroon outfit going on here too.
Adding to the diversity.
Absolutely.
We love it. All right, so let's get us started off on our first question. How was your first semester been with Texas State?
It's been great so far. I've learned a lot about the university, learned a lot about the people here. There have been so many events on campus, and I love to get out of the office. Like, this is actually a temporary office we're in right now. So this is my permanent one, so they're renovating the one upstairs. And so I love to get out of here and go be out in the campus and be with all the students and faculty and staff, wherever they're engaged. And it's just been great, really eye-opening experience to learn more about the university. You know, you can learn about it by going online and reading about it, but you have to experience it in person.
Oh,
and
for sure.
to me, my job is to serve the students who are here and the faculty and staff, and I can't do that unless I understand them and know them better.
I totally agree with that. People are very important. Getting to know people, being around people, it's very important. So on that, what hobbies do you do outside of being president that help you become a better leader?
My hobbies really are Texas State, and so I ride a Peloton, and I watch Dateline murder mysteries with my wife. And
I love murder mysteries.
So we always try to guess who killed who. I always think it's the husband. She always thinks it's the brother-in-law or whatever. And so that's kind of our hobby. We watch like reality TV shows, kind of stuff where you don't have to think too much when you're doing them. But we also, I spend most of my time on campus. So in the evenings, like last night, there was a block party. The night before, there was a Texas State's Got Talent. And just go hang out with students because that helps me, again, understand our students better. And if there's an event with faculty or staff, get to know the faculty and staff better and what problems they're facing. And so the more you engage with people, the more they feel like they have a relationship with you, the more likely they are to tell you when there's a problem.
Yes.
Because you need people to tell you when there's a problem because I can't fix things that I don't know are broken. And so that's every waking moment, if I'm not at home watching Dateline, I'm on campus interacting with folks.
And what are some of your personal goals for Texas State?
So personal goals is really to create a university where everyone feels like they're heard. That's the most important thing for me. And then that people actually come here and have great experiences while they're here, so they're successful, both faculty, staff, and students. But ultimately that we fulfill our mission, which is to change the lives of the people that come here. And so that includes our faculty and staff who are coming here and they're having a career here, and we want them to have a life-changing experience as well. We want them to come here and say, I went to Texas State, I wasn't sure what to experience, but I ended up spending my whole career there, and I felt like I made a difference in people's lives. But we also want our students who come here, many of whom are first generation, Pell eligible, maybe first generation American, for example, and we want them to come here and have a great experience and to graduate in a timely manner so they could leave here and not move home with their parents. That's my biggest goal for them. That's the parents' goal as well. So
yes, I don't want to live with my mom.
No, they've got a sewing room at home that used to be a bedroom, and they don't want to give up that sewing room.
No, listen, I love you, Mom, but like Mr. Damphousse said, I gotta grow.
You gotta grow. She gotta grow, and she gotta go.
I gotta grow, and I gotta go. And what do you think makes Texas State unique?
Well, I think it's really the most diverse university in the state, in many ways we look like Texas. We're a big university, but it doesn't feel like a big university. There's 39,000 students here, but it doesn't feel like there's that many. Part of it's the topography. You can't stand in any one place and see the entire campus. So wherever you're standing, you can only see like 10 buildings. And so it kind of feels like a small campus still. But it's got a very diverse student body. It's got a diverse faculty and staff. It also has diverse academic offerings as well. And so we're growing the engineering program, for example. We didn't have engineering for a long time, and now we're growing into that realm. We also have a growing graduate student body as well. So there's some things there's plenty of room for growth here. But I think the diversity and the richness of the experiences that people have when they come here are really fascinating.
Yeah, definitely.
And the mustaches.
Yeah. All right. And what legacy do you hope to leave here at Texas State?
I hope that people, sometimes presidents look back and say, well, I built that building and I built that building and our football team won, conference championships or whatever. And those are all great. But for me, it's more on a personal level. Like if people believe that I cared about them and if they have a great memory of, they had an interaction with me like we're having right now. And you say, hey, I remember back in 2022, I got to go to the president's office and got to interview him. And I felt like every time I saw him after that, he remembered who I was. To me, that's the legacy, because the story of my life isn't the story of me doing stuff. The story of my life is people doing stuff for me and serving me and guiding me. And I hope that I have the opportunity to guide everyone who's here who's kind of stuck. Maybe they're approaching a fork in the road, and I have a conversation with them and it helps them make a decision one way or the other, and that people realize that I'm here to serve them, not the other way around.
Awesome.
And so,
yeah, so impacting people, you would say, would be your legacy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And an even more important question, how would you describe your fashion sense?
Oh, I have the worst fashion because my wife is my fashion sense. And so I remember when you were a kid, did you have Granimals? You know what a Granimals is? So your mom might know. And so Granimals were like clothing, like they'd have a bear and a bear, so the bear and the bear would go together, like the shirt and the pants, and then they have like a line and a line and so on. That's what I need. I need Granimals because I'll have like a stripe and polka dots, and my wife said no, that doesn't work, and so she sends me back in that.
The best comparison I can do for our generation would be like the Cher like outfit changer thingy. That's probably the best comparison.
And so that's. To me, I just married well, and so one thing I will say is that I tend to like dress for the office, so I wear a suit almost everywhere, even at the football games.
No,
because
you're definitely slaying right now.
Yeah, well, thank you, I appreciate that. And I also make sure I have at least one piece of maroon or gold on everywhere I go, so I always make sure that I'm representing school.
That's so cute. I love that. All right, and what has been the biggest learning experience that you've ever had?
Oh boy. Oftentimes it's making mistakes, because I made a lot of them, because I've never really had a class on how to teach, so when I became a professor I just had to learn how to teach. I've never had leadership classes, and so oftentimes when I was in the classroom or I was being in a leadership position, I'd make a mistake and I go, I should have done it that way, and that's okay to make mistakes. What's not okay is to make that mistake again. And so if you make a mistake and learn from it, it's a learning experience. And so that's kind of the best learning experience I've had, just about doing things and not being afraid to do things. It's interesting. There's a lot of research that shows that women won't apply for jobs unless when they look, they see like I have all the qualifications. And men tend to apply for jobs even if they only have like one of the qualifications. I tend to be a little bit more confident in doing that. And one of my, constant things I'm trying to do is get people to take a chance. Like you might not fit that perfectly, but you might get in there and really impress them in the interview and get that job, and then you'll learn how to do that thing. Maybe you don't have all those qualifications, but you get in there and get that job, and then you actually will grow by doing it, by stretching a little bit. And so I learn the most probably from making mistakes and then trying to be introspective and not being so proud to say, they're all wrong and I'm right. Sometimes I just made a mistake.
That is very insightful.
Yeah.
So that's basically you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
I think it's moments like this where students say, hey, we want to get to know you better, or they walk up and want to get a selfie with me, or just like last night, a lot of people want to take a picture, but some people said, I just want to shake your hand and say hi to you and get to know you a little bit. The fact that you guys got up at probably like 6 o'clock this morning, you got all dressed up, and you came over here because you wanted to know more about me. To me, that's the greatest compliment anyone can pay you, is to want to spend time with you. And so, yeah, it's moments like this.
And what makes you smile the most?
Oh, I love watching other people like hit their full potential. Like when I'm watching our student athletes when they win the game or win the championship. When I watch a student walk across the stage at graduation, I got to do the graduation in August here, And there was literally a couple students that were crying as they were walking across the stage. Yeah, I know, but their parents were going crazy in the stands, and I thought, there's something happening at this moment. Like I'm like interrupting it because I'm shaking their hands and posing for the picture and stuff. But there was something magical happening right there. Like that kid went through something traumatic to get here. Those parents, family members are so proud about watching their child walk across the stage. Seeing people hit their full potential and to actualize the dream that they had, that nothing beats that. And same thing with our faculty who get a publication or get their book published. I was meeting with a faculty member the other day, and she pulled out the book that she had just published, and I could just see I know how hard it was for her to write that book and how much work she had put into it. And when you get the finished product, and she was just beaming, I walked away with the biggest smile on my face.
You are so insightful, and that is something that is so amazing.
That's insightful.
No, he's so insightful, and like just meeting you, I'm like, wow, that's so cool to know this about my president. So another thing is, what is something else that people don't know about you?
Oh, this will probably surprise people, is that I'm really, really introverted. Like I grew up, so I skipped kindergarten. So I went right to grade 1 because my mom taught me how to read and write. My mom had grade 9 education, never went to college, but she knew education was important. She taught me how to read and to write and to do math before I went to kindergarten. When I got there, they said, oh, he needs to go to grade 1. So I went there, but that meant I was always the youngest kid in class. And so I got beat up a lot. I had a girl's name that rhymed with belly and jelly, and I was kind of a chubby kid. And so I just wasn't treated well as a kid. And so that made me have not very much self-esteem. Like I felt like I wasn't worth anything. And became shy. I was a book reader, so I loved to read. And so I was, kind of introverted. And I have to work really hard to get out there and to interact with people because my inclination is just to go home and watch Dateline or read a book. So
I feel that. So I would say, honestly, just meeting you, I would say you're ambiverted. So you switch between extroverted and introverted at times.
It's interesting. That's a great point. But I'm introverted. But sometimes when you're in a situation where you have to be on. Sometimes I can be on too much because I'm just I'm trying to project and to make it look like I'm comfortable. And I'm always analyzing the back, am I doing too much? Am I smiling too much? Am I talking too much? Am I telling too many stories about me? I should start talking about them. And so it's complicated because you're always trying to project. Everyone's always projecting an image. We have a mask we present to the world, and it's hard to just be yourself. And that's what I love about going home with my family, because I just be myself. And someone said something about social media the other day, and she said, "You just seem so genuine on social media." I said, "Well, I'm just trying to present who I am." That's what I love about Be Real. Do you have Be Real?
I do have Be Real.
Yeah. So I love about Be Real. It says, take a picture right now, no filter. What are you doing right now? And last night it popped up, and I was like, I'm not taking a picture right now because my hair was a mess, and I had just got home, and my shirt was untucked.
Yeah.
I know, but I was like, I don't want people to see with my hair all messed up, and I don't have very many followers anyway. So, anyways.
Can you add me on Be Real?
Well, yeah, you have to add me. I don't know how to find people.
That is so funny, guys. Our president has Be Real. Be Real. Yeah. That is too funny. All right. Besides Be Real, what are 3 other things you cannot live without?
Oh, my phone, because I live on that thing, and so I saw a poll the other day that said, would you rather give up your sense of smell or your phone? And I would give up my sense of smell. I've smelled everything. I've smelled everything there is to smell. There's nothing new I need to smell, but I couldn't live without my phone. But before that, my wife, I couldn't live without her because she grounds me and she keeps me real, and she helps me so much. So my wife, my kids, and my phone, in that order. How's that?
That's awesome. Yeah. I love how you said that your wife keeps you real.
They all keep me real. Those kids, yeah, they keep me grounded for sure.
What is your current favorite piece of clothing?
Oh, wow. Oh, I have a gold Champion sweatshirt with a maroon Texas state on it, and I will wear that thing to death. It'll have holes in the elbows before the year is out, because I love that thing. Because I love maroon, but gold is really the color that sets us apart from other schools. A lot of schools have maroon in their colors, but the gold and maroon together is great, and I love that it's it just stands out. It's not like everyone's wearing maroon, I'm wearing the gold, so it's a great looking shirt. The bad thing is I see a lot of people wearing it now, but I feel like we're kindred spirits. Like we're going, hey, we have the same shirt.
Great minds.
Yeah, that's right.
Great minds think alike.
And I'm always kind of looking for connections with people too. I go, oh yeah, I have hair too, or whatever. Hey,
that is
you
so
have
mean.
You have a mustache. I have a mustache. You know.
Oh, like twins.
Yeah.
All right. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Wow. Kind, funny, caring.
That's solid.
How's that?
That's
Yeah.
solid. Yeah, that's really good.
It's funny, when I was a kid, like, again, being an introvert and not having, I was a loner and low self-esteem and all that stuff. My best friend had a brother, and his brother was like hilarious, and everyone loved him. And I thought, man, I wish I could be like him. And so I thought being funny was the way to kind of get people to like you. And I did some other things to get people to like me too, which are bad ideas. But I've always tried to be like him, and I've always loved comedians. I thought that we talked about Steve Harvey earlier.
Yes.
People want to be around people who are funny. People don't want to be people who are all, Debbie Downer all the time. Right?
I think that's why I'm so I try to always make people laugh.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that'll make people want to be around me. Not that I want people to be around me like that, but I enjoy making others laugh. It brings them a sense of joy.
Joy is important, and so there's enough sadness in the world, enough grumpy people. Like on social media, I don't darn airline lost my luggage. Mm-hmm. No one needs to know that.
Exactly. Nobody
cares. I say, hey, I had a great seat today.
Exactly.
And so look at the view. Here's the view out my window, and there's what Atlanta looks like from the sky.
It's always better to look at the positives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's an old song, always look on the right side of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On that bright note that we just ended on, what is inspiring you right now?
Inspiring me? Oh, I think seeing the potential of the university. Seeing and I'm not just saying that, but I wake up in the morning thinking about Texas State, and I go to bed at night I dream about Texas State.
He's dedicated, y'all.
I am, and so when I see the potential of the university, when I see the potential of last night at the block party, I'm looking around at the kids who come here, and I asked them a question. I actually gave them the microphone, which is actually, again, being an introvert, I just want to sit and watch, and they say, "Hey, will you say a few words?" I go, "Okay, let me get up there."
I forgot I'm the president.
And then. But I asked them this question because they didn't really have anything planned. I said, how many people are standing right next to their best friend? Mm-hmm. And half the people said, I got my best friend right here. And then I said, did you bring them with you from high school? Or did you find them here? I said, I found them here. Mm-hmm. And then to see those relationships start to form, I said, hey, this is homecoming week. I hope when you're 40 and 50 years old, you come back and you hang out with your best friend again, because the friends you make in college are the friends you'll probably have for life. And if you keep coming back to college, you have opportunities to do that. And so when I looked at it, I just saw so much potential. Those young people are coming here from all walks of life, coming to this university, interacting, making friends, and they're about to go in 3 or 4 years, go off and do their own thing. But I hope they come back so I can see what happened to them, because there's such great potential there, and that really inspires me. That it makes, when I get up in the morning, I say, I can't wait to go and see what I can do to help the university get better.
That was really deep. That was really, really deep.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. No, he's so deep, y'all. Okay. Something else, just a little bit more light, fun. Yeah. What is something that you've been playing on your playlist currently that you just can't stop listening to?
Oh, there's a song I play over and over again. So I like old rock. I love Canadian rock, like Corey Hart and Bryan Adams, and some old Canadian rock and roll.
I've never heard of Canadian rock.
Oh yeah.
You got to tell me about it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. And so you've probably heard of Bryan Adams before, haven't you? Everything I do it for you.
That's beautiful, but no.
No, okay. All right. So old Canadian rock and roll, good stuff. So, I like Tom Petty as well.
Ooh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, Gary Goods. He's a Southern guy from Gainesville, Florida, and he has this great song called Southern Accents, which I love because it talks about being a young man growing up in the South and the challenges. But I'm also a Swiftie, so I love Taylor Swift.
Yes,
I got that
we love a Swiftie.
Yeah. So my daughters turned me on to Taylor Swift, and I love everything. I liked old Taylor better than new Taylor.
Me too. I love old Taylor
because I don't like cussing, and so she does a lot of cussing in the new stuff. But she has a new song out with Bon Iver called Exile. Have you ever heard of it?
I don't think I have.
You need to go look it up. Go watch the video because the song is about a girl and a guy breaking up. And what I love about it, so it's one of the few duets she's done. And in the song, the guy's going, "You're leaving me? Like, you never gave me any signs." In the background, she says, I gave so many signs. And that's how relationships are. Like guys, like we're so black and white. Like you have to hit us over the head and say, put the lid down on the toilet seat. Straighten up. Do all these things. And we're like, and women tend to be a little bit more subtle. And so she's saying, I gave you all these signs, and he's saying, you never told me you were unhappy. I thought things were going great. Now you're walking out the door here. I play that song when I get on my Peloton. I probably play that song like 4 or 5 times at the beginning because it kind of gets me going. So
your wife just walks in. She's like, Kelley, are you okay?
You okay? I'm crying. That poor guy.
I'm sorry I treated you like that.
It makes me treat her better. So,
that's good. Yeah. Swifties for the husbands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Swifties for the husbands. And besides singing Tay-Tay on the Peloton, what else makes you feel accomplished in life?
It's interesting. I had an experience when I was a young man where someone really was helping me out, and I asked him, how could I ever repay you for all you've done for me? He basically said, you can't, because you don't have anything I want. I think I was probably thinking like, how could I pay you? But he said, someday you'll be sitting in a position of authority, and there'll be someone else who needs help. And when you help that person, that's how you pay me back. And I've never forgotten. Every time a student says, hey, we're from Lewk Magazine, we want to do a thing, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I never say, I'm too busy. I'll say, let's find time we can make that work. Because I always think back to what Dr. Crouch was telling me, that when you're in a position of authority, you're given that authority for a reason, and it's to help people who need help. And so periodically, someone will say something, or they'll text me, or they'll DM me, or they'll send me a note, say, thank you for that thing you did, because I was going to drop out and you said something or did something, or I couldn't get into school and you helped me figure out a way, or I couldn't get a job and you helped me. And what's most gratifying is like when I get notes like that and I have no idea what they're talking about, because I don't remember saying anything to them. I don't remember helping the person, because it reminds me that we're always influencing other people and being influenced by people at the same time. And we can say something that we don't remember saying it, and someone goes home that night and goes, oh, I'm going to be a better person, or I'm going to go apply for that job, or I'm going to stretch and go apply for a job that I don't think I'm qualified for because Dr. D told me about that today.
And so on another note, what is something that you have always wanted to do but you've never done because you were too afraid to do it?
I don't know that there's anything I've never done because I was afraid to do it. Because if I wanted to do something, I often tried it. I mean, I wasn't always successful at it. I really can't think of anything that I wanted to do and didn't do, because I tried to do it all. I've had an incredibly blessed life, and I've had an adventurous life, and some of the adventures haven't worked out well. I went mountain climbing and fell off a mountain. I went skydiving. I haven't, maybe bull riding. I haven't ridden a bull, and I thought that'd be kind of cool. But it's too scary. Fun. How about that?
I've done a mechanical bull once.
I've done that too, but it was not fun.
It wasn't. It wasn't that fun. No, it was kind of hard to stay on. Yeah,
it was impossible.
A real bull would probably be like way more dangerous.
Way more dangerous, but probably
But probably a lot more fun.
So maybe bull riding.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah. That would be really, really cool. And what is one thing that you wish you knew at the age of 20? Please, we're dying to know.
I wish I had more confidence in myself, and it took me a long time to find that. And so I said earlier that there was very few things I didn't try to do that I wanted to do, because I was an adventure guy, younger. But oftentimes when I was doing it, I said, this is going to be a disaster. Like, it's not going to work. And it was through experience trying those things and doing them that I said, oh, sometimes it was a disaster. It didn't work. But then sometimes I said, oh, I did that thing. And that kind of built my confidence up over time. Like going to grad school for me was really, I was trying to figure out a way to stay in the States. I'm Canadian, and I had a student visa, and I married this girl, and I needed to figure out a way to stay, so I went to grad school. I wasn't really planning to become a professor. And then next thing you know, I had a PhD. And so like, what do I do with this PhD? Well, I guess I'll apply for professor jobs. And then I got one, and I said, oh, I guess people like me, and I can do this thing. And so a lot of times I was applying for jobs I didn't think I would ever get. And then I got it, and then next thing I knew, I got promoted. And next thing I knew, I was an associate dean, and I became a dean. And then out of the blue, I became a chancellor of a university at Arkansas State University. I never planned any of that. It just like when an opportunity put themselves in front of it, for some reason, my experiences led me to like feel like, well, maybe God put that in my way for a reason, and maybe I should pursue that and see what happens. And that's, but it took me at 20. I didn't get that. Like I was mired in like self-loathing and my career. I was a prison guard at the time. I was 20 years old, and I didn't think I was going to amount to anything. I was really just trying to get to retirement. I was 20 years old and looking forward to retirement. How bad is that?
What is a talent that you wish you had?
I wish I could juggle. It looks so easy. I can't juggle.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
You should really like invest in learning in that, because I feel like students seeing you juggle on campus would just really make our day.
Okay, you got me. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to learn how to juggle. Next time you do a Lewk Magazine
Oh yes,
interview,
we'll do it.
We'll do a
We'll
juggle
do it.
thing.
Actually, we'll teach you how to juggle. We'll find somebody and we'll help you. We'll help you juggle. And what is the best thing that's happened to you this year, 2022?
This year, the day the chancellor called me and offered me the job, because I didn't think I was going to get it, and because it's kind of a funny story. For some reason, I thought he was going to call me on Sunday night or Monday, and he didn't call me till Wednesday. And so I thought, like Sunday, and Monday, I told my kids, I didn't get the job, and it's not going to happen. And nobody knew I applied except for my family. And so at least I had like this face saving. Like I actually like called the search committee guy and said, "Hey, should I withdraw my application? Because I'd rather withdraw than not get the job." He said, "Just chill out, relax. We're not done yet." And I said, "Okay." But when the chancellor called me, and so in Arkansas State, I had the same position I have here, but there they call it the chancellor. And so here, the chancellor is over the system, the president is over the campus. It's the opposite there. And so when he called me, I said, "Hi, Chancellor, how you doing?" And he said, "Hi, Chancellor, how you doing?" Because I was a chancellor. And he says, "I think we should call you president from now on." And I was like, I'll take it, because I didn't negotiate with him at all. I was so excited, and it was life changing for me. My oldest daughter lives in Austin, and so we got to be closer to her, and so I got to call the girls and tell them. And my oldest daughter, who lives here, started crying. She's 30 years old.
Beautiful.
And
that would be me.
And she was like, because they literally thought I wasn't gonna get the job, and so when we called them to get on FaceTime together, they thought I was calling to tell them I didn't get the job. When I told them I got the job, I mean, to see the joy in their faces and the pride they have. We have this funny saying. I accidentally typed them once when I was texting. I would say, "I love you," and I typed in, "I live you." And then that's become kind of our tagline now, because everything I do now is for them. Like I want to provide for them. I want them to be proud of me. It's funny, you think your kids want their parents to be proud of them. Well, I want them to be proud of me as well. And so when I saw, it was very moving for me to see how happy they were for me, because everything I do it for them. And so that, to me, that was like that day was like the best day of the year.
I think that's beautiful, because that brings up a really good point. I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was laughing about this meme saying like, "Oh, having to raise your parents." And I was like, no, but seriously though, like sometimes I feel like I have to raise y'all.
Oh, they influence me all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something that people forget sometimes, is that whenever your parents are raising you, you're also growing up with your parents, because they're young and they're learning and you're learning together and you're growing.
Yeah, there's no classes on how to be.
Exactly.
There are classes on how to be a parent, but I never took any of them. So again, I made a lot of mistakes being a parent. So there's no owner's manual.
Yeah, it's definitely a partnership between child and parent, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's very beautiful. Absolutely. I love that. I live you. That's so cute.
Well, we always say, "I live you," and then I put #no typo, because it was a typo, and I said, "You know what?" I said, "Oh, that was a typo." No, I said, "You know what? I do live you. I'm living for you every day," and so that's become our thing now.
That is gorgeous. Yeah. And what is your affirmation for today?
What do you mean by that?
So, an affirmation for today. So, okay, for my affirmation today, my affirmation is carpe diem, which would mean seize my day. So, what would be your affirmation for today?
Oh gosh, be real.
Be real. Be
How's
real.
that?
That's awesome.
Be you.
Be you. Well, that concludes our interview. But before we go, I have one bonus question for you, Dr. Kelley. Dr. Kelley.
Yeah, sure.
I have one question for you. What is your zodiac sign?
I'm an Aries.
Oh, do you know your big three, or do you only know like your sun? You only know
No,
your son?
I barely know that.
We're going to have to
I
get
don't even
into
know
his
what
chart
that
one
means.
day.
Do I know my son? I don't even know what that means.
We'll tell you later. We'll get into it later. We'll do a whole chart video because this interview, honestly, guys, was amazing. I wish that everybody could be in this room right now to feel this energy, to meet this man. I hope you guys all get the opportunity to see him on campus or just come to his office. Like he said, he gets bored sometimes. He wants friends. He wants to get to know us.
Everyone wants friends, right?
Everyone wants friends, right? So if you guys have the time to come and meet Dr. Kelley, please do. It is totally worth it. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for having us this morning, and I hope that you continue to be real throughout your day. I'll continue to be real throughout my day.
Seize your day.
I will seize my day, and I hope you seize your day as well.
I will.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, Amaya.
Thank you. Happy Halloween.